Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about a new verdict that's been issued, as well as Oscar Piastri's penalty. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me and exit James's pit lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with the penalty Oscar Piastri received in Brazil. He got this following a safety car restart. At the restart, it was 3 wide going into turn 1. Piastri was on the inside, Kimi Antonelli was in the middle and Charles Leclerc was on the outside, and Piastri ended up making contact with Antonelli, who then went into Leclerc, and this took Leclerc out of the Grand Prix. And through all this, Piastri moved his way up into P2, and later on he was handed a 10-second time penalty. Now, I've spoken about this before, and if you want to find out more, I'll leave a link to a video I've done in the description, but basically, I don't think it was a penalty for Piastri, and even Leclerc defended Piastri after the race, believing he did not deserve a penalty any more than Antonelli did. And now Carlos Sainz, who is also the Grand Prix Drivers Association director, has called for a swift review of the driver guidelines, with him saying, as quoted by the race, "I think we urgently need to catch up and try and solve it, because for me the fact that Oscar got a penalty there in Brazil is unacceptable, honestly, for the category that we are in and being the pinnacle of motorsport. I'm not going to explain why. I think all you guys saw what happened. I think everyone that has seen racing knows that this is not Oscar's fault at all. Everyone else who has really raced a race car knows he could have done nothing to avoid an accident there." Now, when you apply things by the guidelines, yes, it's a penalty for Piastri, but at the same time, there was nothing Piastri could do in that instance. He was already alongside Antonelli going into turn 1. Antonelli had room to his right, chose not to use it, and closed the door on Piastri pretty much. And I think if Antonelli had used that room to his outside, he could have gone round the outside of Piastri and there would have been no contact. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But let's move on to Felipe Massa's court case, with an update being issued. So this court case is about the 2008 season. In that year, at the title decider in Brazil, Lewis Hamilton won the title by 1 point over Massa. But weeks before, you had the Singapore Grand Prix, the scene of the Crashgate incident, where Renault instructed its driver Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash deliberately in order to help teammate Fernando Alonso to victory. And Massa has been making a case that Piquet Jr.'s intentional crash, which caused an early safety car, changed the course of the title race, as Ferrari's title contender dropped down the order in a consequent pit stop. Now, the whole incident did not emerge until 2009, so the 2008 results were set in stone. However, Massa has sued Formula 1 management, its former boss Bernie Ecclestone, and the FIA, seeking £64 million in damages for loss of earnings and sponsorship, and both sides presented their arguments in October at London's High Court, and now the judge has handed down a verdict, and the judge has ruled that the case can proceed to trial. Now, Motorsport.com say that in terms of the defendants claiming that a potential breach of contract was irrelevant to Massa, after the latter argued the FIA had a duty to investigate potential wrongdoing, Justice J sided with the defendants, explaining the duty was owed to FIA members, not Massa. However, Motorsport.com went on to say the defendants claimed that Massa's losses were his own failure, given he did not take action following the FIA's investigation in September 2009. Justice J rejected that claim, as Ecclestone's 2023 interview, in which he stated he and then FIA President Max Mosley kept the conspiracy quiet, brought essential facts to Massa's knowledge. However, several claims by Massa are time-barred and or governed by French law. The case will now proceed to trial, with Justice J estimating that Massa has a real prospect of success on the inducement of breach and conspiracy claims, because they do not require Mr. Massa to have a directly enforceable contractual right. However, Motorsport.com also report that the judge cautioned that establishing enough evidence to win the trial would be a tall order for Massa, and that the judge also pointed out that while the court can award damages to Massa, it cannot overturn the results of the 2008 season. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.